Okay, good evening to all of you, and thank you for joining in. Akshay needs no introduction, dear friend, exhibitor, champion, industry champion. Jatinder is here. Thank you, Jatinder, for joining in. Box office tracker, box office analyst. Navneet is here, film fan, journalist, and all of you, thank you so much for being here. And the agenda for today is very simple and basic. We'll try and sum up the year. What was good? What was bad? What worked? What didn't work? Where are we heading in terms of an industry? We'll discuss everything and then we can take it further from there. So I would like Akshay to begin and take it from here.
Sure. Thanks so much, Vishek. Always a pleasure being on your podcast that you do. And good evening, everyone. Good to come across all of you guys. Vishek, I think 2024 has been a bit of a mixed bag because, of course, there have been so many films that came where we had expectations and those didn't do well. And plus, from the very onset of the year, we knew that this is a year where you have no Shah Rukh Khan, no Salman Khan, a bit of Ajay Devgan, a bit of Akshay Kumar, but no Ranveer Singh, no Ranbir Kapoor. All of these big stars really gave this year a complete miss. And if you look at the filmmakers, right, I mean, it's possibly the only year in the 50 years or the 51 years of its existence where a banner like Yash Raj didn't have a single release. So we walked into this year knowing that there are a lot of missing elements compared to what you expect out of a good year at the movies. And then, of course, there were some very pleasant surprises where Street 2 did exceedingly well. And, given the history of that universe that Dinesh Vijan has created, all of us expected it to do well. But I'm pretty sure nobody, including the film's team, saw these numbers coming. Similarly, Kalki expected more but did reasonably well. And now pretty hopeful that the year, with Baby John coming up, springs a surprise because yes, there is a lot of, as we speak, conversation happening around what the showcasing would be like, whether it would really be a good follow up to Pushpa to bring the year to a close. So keeping our fingers crossed. And I'm still, pretty hopeful because I have a lot of faith in one man, Atlee Kumar. If you look at his history as a filmmaker, I truly believe that he's a champion at creating those cinematic moments that make a film come through. And I really hope that in Baby John, even though the promotions have been a bit underwhelming, measured against what all of us expected. And Vishek, you were at the Big Cine Expo earlier this year, where all of us saw those 5 minutes, 45 minutes of the film, which I thought were mind-bogglingly outstanding. And a lot of the units that came out after that perhaps didn't live up to that, and therefore maybe the audience is still not exposed to what the potential of the film is. And yes, an action film which is front loaded like this should be targeting a ballistic opening rather than a word of mouth scenario, which may not happen to the expectations that we were hoping for. It is still open well because Christmas, mass entertainer, and all. But I'm pretty hopeful that the film's word of mouth will make it just grow from strength to strength and hopefully allow all of us exhibitors, the entire movie ecosystem, to bring the year to a close with some cheers. So fingers crossed for that.
Yeah. So, Navneet, you can go now
Yeah.
and tell us your thoughts on the year 2024.
So, I will underline a couple of thoughts. So, first of all, all the big blockbusters of 2024 have been the franchise movies. Number one, Pushpa 2, number two, Istri 2, number three, Bhool Bhulaiya 3. So clearly, the huge grossers have all been the franchise movies. Now, I remember talking to you, Vishek Bhai, in 2022, almost 2 years ago, and you told me that Navneet, Bollywood will go the Hollywood way, where the IPs and franchises will become bigger than the superstars. And I think in 2024, this has been proven. I'm not saying that there have not been mid-level successes. There have been mid-level movies like Teri Baaton Mein Aisa Uljha Jiya, Crew, Article 370, which did reasonable business, and they were they were hits, and
Shaitan. Shaitan
yeah,
was there.
they were successful movies, but they were not the huge grossers. They were not the massive mammoth grossers which sort of bring cheer to the trade. Okay, so I mean, these two trends are very visible. And I think for me it was very heartening to see that there is still a space for the middle of the road movies like Teri Baaton Mein Aisa Uljha Jiya, Munchia, Munjia was the biggest surprise of the year, and it was wonderful to see that a movie which is made at a relatively low budget, even it can become a big hit, provided that the content is universal. The content of Munjia was universal, and of course, I mean, the horror comedy, I mean, the genre also worked in the favor because horror comedy is the flavor of the season. So the genre also worked in its favor. But I think genre alone cannot make a I mean, genre alone cannot take a movie that far. So I think Munjia is a very classic example that even a low budget movie can really rake in the moolah, provided the content and the grammar, provided the content and language are universal. So yes, mid level, there have been some very good mid level successes, as I said, but all the big grosses have been franchise movies. So that clearly shows that at times, yeah, I mean, superstars have their own place. Shah Rukh, Salman, Amir, no one can undermine them. No one can, I mean, no one can cast aspersions on their stardom. Or even the worst Salman Khan movies or the underwhelming Shah Rukh or Amir movies will still open well. But I think to give a, I mean, it is becoming increasingly difficult to give huge, mammoth, colossal grosses without the franchise or IPs. That is very clear in 2024.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment of the situation. The other thing before I go to Jatinder is the fact that there was this belief in the ecosystem, especially the Hindi film industry, that horror as a genre, does not work at the level that, it's supposed to do. So I mean, there was a time when films like Raz and etc. was made by the Bhatts, but horror as a genre is a very high ROI, genre. And I wrote an article some time back on it, and I did some research on it. The ROI for horror is one of the highest in the industries across the world. It does this amazing numbers as compared to the investment. And this year, when you've had like three horror films, like one was a classic, Shaitan was a complete horror film, the other two horror comedy, but yes, horror was present. So this whole myth that horror doesn't work, and I'm pretty sure now that the whole industry is now working on horror, कि भाई हॉरर ही चलता है और हॉरर कॉमेडी बना रहे होंगे या फिर हॉरर प्लान कर रहे होंगे। और अभी हॉरर फेस्ट होने वाला है 2025-26 में, वो 10-20 हॉरर फिल्में आने वाली है और अच्छी बात है। एंड आई एम रियली हैप्पी फॉर द फैक्ट दैट that we are increasing the genre, we're increasing the breadth of the films that come rather than just one kind of genre that we were making before COVID was like the slice of life drama कि भाई कानपुर की कहानी होगी, वहां पे हीरो सेट होगा, एक हीरोइन होगी और उस टाइप की पिक्चरें बनाएंगे। तो आई थिंक मोर जॉनर्स makes for a very healthy ecosystem in the commercial space also. Now going to Jatinder. Jatinder, you can do your 2024 summary. And if you can tell us, add a little bit of the international perspective to it also, because you do active tracking internationally also.
Hello everyone. Regarding 2024, if you see, I don't think there has been like big flops all around the year. Maybe there were Maidan and Bade Miyan Choti Miyan, but other than that, there were no big flops this year. The problem we had was there were no releases at all. That was the only problem. I think the major problem we had was that we had no releases this year. I think maybe there were a couple of maybe 3-4 months where there was simply nothing playing, and the holdover films were playing. Stree was released in August, and it had a clear run throughout September, and then all the way till October when Devara released, and that was essentially a dubbed film, so not even a Bollywood film was on Gandhi Yanti. So that spells the problem for 2024 for me, and this was also the case in Hollywood. Their first quarter was completely, I think, there was simply nothing there. There was Godzilla was there, Dune, but other than that, May used to have a Marvel film opening the summer. This year there was nothing. There was a Fall Guy, and it did some 30 million opening, which freaked out everyone in Hollywood.
Correct.
Because they thought the numbers were coming for a May month. But cinema is not a calendar business, but
Correct.
प्रोडक्ट बिजनेस। अगर प्रोडक्ट ही नहीं होगा तो बिजनेस कहाँ से आएगा? मुझे लग रहा था कि मई है तो मई में नंबर आई जा रहे हैं, लेकिन बिजनेस तो फिल्म की वजह से आएगा ना।
करेक्ट।
और जब मार्वल फिल्म है ही नहीं तो बिजनेस कहाँ से आए? तो उसकी वजह से काफी लोगों को शौक लगा कि समर की स्टार्ट कैसे हुई है। बट बाय जून वी हैड रिलीजेस कमिंग इन, इनसाइड आउट रिलीज्ड, बैड बॉयज रिलीज्ड, डेडपुल रिलीज्ड, and that gave a momentum to the box office, which continued till October. And when Joker flopped, then again there was a little bit of meltdown. But November did well. So Hollywood-wise, it seems that they have find their way out. There was COVID and then multiple strikes, which somewhat break their momentum. But now things seem to be back on track, and next year should be a good one for this, for them. For us, I think at the starting of 2024, we used to say that this year is going to be B team year. If you remember, Vishek said, I think you said that ये अगले आने वाला साल B टीम का साल है, और वही हुआ. We didn't have any kind of big films, but जो छोटी फिल्मों थी उन्होंने ठीक ठाक बिजनेस किया है. स्त्री का एक्सपेक्टेड था, उसने किया बिजनेस फिल्म. सिंघम का थोड़ा अंडर परफॉर्मेंस रहा, लेकिन वो भी काफी हद तक एक्सपेक्टेड था. उसके अलावा जो मेन प्रॉब्लम मुझे लग रही है वो सिंपली यही है कि हमारे पास रिलीजेस नहीं है, जिसके लिए हमें कुछ ना कुछ करना होगा. अदरवाइज मतलब फिल्म में एक दो फिल्म मंथ में आ जाए तो वो पूरा पूरा महीना चलती रहेगी. देखने में लगेगा कि हाँ हमें बड़ी फिल्में, बड़ी हिट्स मिल रही हैं, लेकिन वो बड़ी हिट पहले हमें होता था एक महीने में 2 या 3 हिट हो जाती थी. अब जो बड़ी एक फिल्म हिट चल रही है वो 3 महीने में चल रही है. तो आई डोंट थिंक सिंपली सीन के हाँ इस फिल्म ने इतना बिजनेस कर लिया वो इंडस्ट्री के लिए सही है. स्त्री का 600 करोड़ 3 महीनों 2.5 महीने में आया है. आई डोंट थिंक दैट इज अ गुड नंबर फॉर इंडस्ट्री. तो द मेन प्रॉब्लम इज वी हैव लैक ऑफ रिलीजेस.
Okay, the question that begs was that, as Jatinder very rightly pointed out, कि सप्लाई कम है, फिल्मों का सप्लाई बहुत कम आया है इस साल में, फिल्में बहुत कम आई हैं. तो जो भी आई हैं, दो मेजर फ्लॉप्स हुआ, मैदान और बड़े मियां छोटे मियां. Otherwise, films have done some kind of business. Even the smaller ones have done. Genres have been widened. Audiences coming out to watch films, they are not really shying away from watching different kind of cinema. They have supported a Lapata Ladies also. They have also supported alternate cinema which we thought was dead theatrically. This kind of cinema post COVID was like only बड़ी पिक्चरें चलेंगी, स्पेक्टिकल चलेगा, ये चलेगा, या फिर franchise चलेगा. But even original films like Lapata Ladies have found an audience. They have stuck around in cinemas. They have done well for themselves. They have made money on the kind of budgets they were. The problem, then the question begs that I would like to go to Akshay here is, फिल्में क्यों नहीं बन रही यार? Why aren't producers green lighting films? 2023 we saw such huge blockbusters. But why aren't films being made?
See, it's completely a temperament scenario, Vishek. If you go back a couple of decades, the primary avenue of revenues for films was theatrical, और satellite चलो हुआ करता था, वो एक certain revenues ले आता था. जब से streaming came into being, obviously to get an entry fee and to compete against each other to get content, they started outpricing each other and throwing stupid money at producers, which became the greatest safety net and somewhere also removed all quality check barriers, all greenlighting barriers, which should have been in play. Because ultimately जो आज जाके हालत हुई है, जहाँ स्ट्रीमिंग में बहुत कम मूवीज अक्वायर हो रही है, प्री रिलीज जो अक्वायर हो रही है वो भी बहुत रैशनल कॉस्ट पे हो रही है. A lot of producers are saying कि ये क्या गलत हो गया है वगैरह. कुछ गलत नहीं हुआ है, ये रैशनलाइज हो गई है चीजें. This is where they should have always been, because ultimately the dependence of recovery should have always been on the audience's consumption, and basis that the price of streaming rights should have always been benchmark, जो जाके आज हो गया है. And मेरे ख्याल से honestly, because this transition was underway, बहुत सारे लोग थोड़े टेंटेटिव हो गए. सडनली वो सेफ्टी नेट चले गई तो लोग, especially for a lot of the mid-segment stars who guaranteed nothing in terms of opening at the box office, all of them were in a limbo about इनके साथ क्या बना सकते हैं, rather इनके साथ बना भी सकते हैं क्या films. Won't name them, but it literally went into that. And now that this rationalization has come into play, and I think it's here to stay for a while, with this new normal that's happened where you have to prove yourself at the box office before getting a prize for streaming and satellite, I really think most of our filmmakers will recalibrate the decision making process around starting new films. And मेरे ख्याल से बहुत सारे जो एक्टर्स हैं जो कंटेंट की वजह से या कुछ नॉवेल्टी की वजह से एक सर्टेन बॉक्स ऑफिस कर जाते थे, will a lot of them will find themselves in multi-starrer films where somebody like an Ayushmann Khurrana, Siddharth Malhotra, and Aditya Roy Kapoor, a lot of them will be relevant to theatrical, but not individually in their own right anymore, but in very good mixes, very good ensembles. So I really hope that with those and our superstars front leading big films, I have a feeling that 2025 is going to be a damn good year for all of us, because जिस तरह का lineup है films का, uh, because of what this year has been like in the learnings from last year, everyone's really up their game. So you suddenly are seeing a lot of true blue multi-starrers, right? जैसे Houseful 5 आप देखिए, it has the advantage of being a part of a very strong franchise. And if you look at the cast, it's fantastic. Now it's just about getting the storytelling right, which I'm hopeful that between a Tarun Mansukhani who comes from a certain sensibility and a Sajid Nadiadwala who comes from another sensibility, there's great possibility that some magic will happen. ये इतिहास में आप जाके देखिए, when Kabir Khan made Tiger 2, nobody would have imagined कि in a hardcore front-loaded, एक था Tiger, right? Nobody imagined that a filmmaker who's made Kabul Express in New York can do a front-loaded Salman Khan actioner, and magic happened. So I really hope that those kind of collaborations, those kind of sensibilities coming together, interesting cast mixes coming into play, where we are going to see a lot of it in 2025. I'm very hopeful that it'll be a magical year at the box office for all of us.
Which other films are you very hopeful for in 2025, Akshay?
I mean, I don't know when King will release, but whenever it does, whether it's 2025 end or 2026, that's a film I have a lot of hope from. Similarly, Sikandar, you can't negate this whole mix of Sajid Nadiadwala, A.R. Murugadoss, and Salman Khan coming together. That I think is going to be very, very exciting. I also think that Dhurandhar is one film that I'm very, very hopeful of. I have heard some fantastic things about how that's panning out. And again, Aditya Thar is a filmmaker who's delivered at the box office more often than not, with Uri, and as a producer with Article 370. So quite a few films that are coming up. Ramayan, of course, unfortunately, is 2026 now, but Ranbir Kapoor, so has Love and War is also gone to 2026. But these two films, I think Ranbir Kapoor has a stellar lineup going ahead, and will only consolidate his position as a box office superstar, and probably the greatest of them in his generation. So quite a bit that's coming up. Border, again, unfortunately, has gone to 2026, but there's Sunny Sanskari, which Varun Dhawan has, and then he has his father's film, Hai Jawani To Ishq Hona Hai, which are both looking like a lot of fun,
Yes.
good front-loaded commercial entertainers. So I'm really hopeful that between all of these films, we will see a lot happening. What I'm also hopeful for is that, and I'm not just saying this about 2025, but 2025 onwards. See, Mr. Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan, Akshay Kumar, Ajay Devgan, all of these are fantastic people who've served the industry greatly. And they have had a phenomenal phase in their career. And I'm sure that they have a few more years of being at the peak of their game. But I really hope that the passing of the baton, right? And I'm not saying that these people are dead and gone or they are history soon. Mr. Raj Kapoor, Mr. Devanand, Mr. Dilip Kumar were true blue superstars, right? After that, Mr. Bachchan, Mr. Rishi Kapoor, Mr. Rajesh Khanna, Mr. Vinod Khanna had a great phase. But there comes a time when the baton has to be passed on to the next generation. And I really hope that Ranbir Kapoor, Ranveer Singh, Varun Dhawan, Tiger Shroff, a lot of the others, and few others who are being launched now, they start delivering big openings and they start consolidating their presence as stars rather than being actors. Why we still have the Khans, Mr. Ajay Devgan, Mr. Akshay Kumar delivering at the box office, so that we don't have another lull phase before we have the next generation delivering at the box office from day one. So I'm hopeful that 2025 onwards, a lot of these actors will start delivering a good day one and a good solid weekend at the box office, courtesy the choices they make and courtesy the consolidation of stardom. Another one that I forgot to mention, at least in Maharashtra, the part of the country that I come from, I have humongous hopes from Vicky Kaushal's Chhaava. From the little bit I've seen of it and what I've heard of it, I think it's going to be another huge surprise coming our way.
Going on to the continuing from Akshay's point on 2024, the kind of supply dearth that was there, and 2025, kind of looking promising. I want to now go to Navneet. Navneet, I mean, you track box office, business, films, industries. You're in Bangalore. So, फिल्में क्यों नहीं आ रही, फिल्में क्यों नहीं बन रही? Simple सवाल.
Yeah, Akshay very rightly pointed out two things happened: rationalization of cost and rationalization of content as well. Akshay very rightly said that OTT, with the advent of OTT, OTT was a gold mine for producers. Producers started greenlighting movies in a huff. There was clearly lack of quality check, and because some of those movies are very niche, and yet they were, and yet they were able to pull in some kind of numbers in the in the urban centers. So after the pandemic, specifically after the disastrous year of 2022, I remember having that conversation with you, with some other people. I think, from the time I started tracking the box office, and I was a kid when I got, when I got interested in that. I think in the last in the 21st century, two worst years for Bollywood. I'm talking only about Bollywood. I'm keeping southern movies, southern movies out of the equation for this analysis. Two worst years have been 2002 and 2022. I think these 2 years have been the worst years. I remember in 2002, there was only one blockbuster, Raz, and then Devdas did very decent business. And then there were the two or three average movies like Hamraj and, Awara Pagal Diwana. In 2022, same happened. So after 2022, two things happened. OTT suddenly realized that, the kind of money that we are paying is not worth the content. They are not giving us enough returns. Earlier, when the OTT players came into being, they started throwing exorbitant amount of money just to compete with each other. But in 22, and and that happens with all the corporates. At some point they start rationalizing their cost. So yes, yeah, the revenue from OTT has gone down sharply in the last 1.5 years, and that is why producers are extremely wary. Because some of the producers, they were not even bothered about box office anymore. That okay, box office पे कितना business करेगी, OTT से तो पैसे आ रहे हैं, table profit हमें हो रहा है, so they were not even bothered about the box office. Now after the rationalization of money which the OTT is paying to the producers, they can no producer can afford to overlook the significance of box office. Now, come to think of it, someone like Karan Johar, who has been a sort of torch bearer for the Bollywood fraternity, at least among the producers in the last 25 years, he admitted in an interview that I am scared of releasing my movies at the box office. And so many movies of Dharma, be it Sher Shah, and some other movies also. There were some other that Janvi Kapoor movie also.
Just Saxena.
Yeah. So they started appearing on the OTT, and Karan Johar said that I am very very scared of releasing my movies because box office exposes me. If the movie tanks at the box office, the perception of movie is dented enormously, and then people start forming very negative perception about the movie. When the movie is released directly on the OTT, they can get away with the box office analysis. They can get away with the what to say, this tricky beast called box office, and yet they can still manage to garner acclaim. For an example, Shersa. I personally loved Shersa. I don't know how it would have fared at the box office. What I'm saying is, by skipping the box office routes, प्रोड्यूसर्स फाउंड अ वेरी सेफ हेवन कि पिक्चर को एक्लेम भी मिल जाएगा और बॉक्स ऑफिस का टेस्ट भी नहीं देना पड़ेगा. अब वो चीज नहीं हो सकती. अब आपको बॉक्स ऑफिस का टेस्ट देना है. So a lot of producers are in a quandary. Second thing is the rationalization of content. The content that used to work pre-pandemic not necessarily works post-pandemic. One thing remains, one thing will always be a constant. A well-made entertainer with the universal appeal and universal language used to do well pre-pandemic also and post-pandemic also. But there are certain kind of movies जो pre-pandemic जो पिक्चर 140-150 करोड़ का धंधा कर जाती थी, वो पिक्चर अब 70 से 80 करोड़ से ऊपर का धंधा कर नहीं सकती. तो एक तो वो recognition of cost है और and the kind of content also.
I'll cut you in here, and I want to because it's a very fantastic point you bring up. I want to go to Jatinder here. Jatinder, just explain, Because in 2023, we had a Pathan, which broke the record of long-standing record of Bahubali. And then within 3-4 months, we had a Gadar, which broke the record of Pathan. Then within 3 weeks, we had a Jawan, which broke the record of Gadar. And then this year we had a Stree, which went past Jawan. And now we have a Pushpa, which has gone past Stree. The point I'm trying to make that the depth of the box office, the potential of the box office, how much is it and how much has it increased by? Are producers unnecessarily wary of the fact that films are not working? Because within the last 1 or 2 years, we've had Pathan, Jawan, Gadar, Stree, and now Pushpa, 5 films eclipsing the all-time blockbuster status for Hindi.
You forgot Animal.
Yeah, Hindi market. And so please take us through the potential, the numbers, and where are we going with this? And our producers are necessarily, kind of shying away from the fact when the market has expanded so much, the way Pushpa is delivering and the pace at which it is running, I will not be surprised if it does 800, 900 crore in Hindi alone. So there we were pre-pandemic looking at 300 crore as a big number. Now we are talking 900 crores. And that also a Telugu dubbed film doing 900 crores. So an organic Hindi film with the right ingredients, and if it penetrates deep into the market, like a Dabang used to do, or something even bigger than that, like if we had like something like a Bahubali organically produced in Mumbai, that's wishful thinking, but still, I can do that. And I mean, what kind of numbers are we looking at? So please take us through that.
एक तो सर जो 2023 में होता है, हम गिनते हैं कि पठान ने 500 कर लिया, मतलब, और उसके बाद गदर ने, चलो गदर एक मतलब भी अनएक्सपेक्टेड हो गया था, लेकिन अगर पठान ने 500 दिया तो जवान भी ऑब्वियसली शुड डू दैट मच नंबर. सो इट वाज सिंपली के एक साल में 2 फिल्में आ गई, मतलब उस लेवल की शाहरुख खान से, तो उन्होंने 500 करोड़ कर दिया. लेकिन जो समझने वाली बात यह है कि 500 करोड़ जो है आज का नंबर, वो 2016 में 300 के बराबर होता था.
Okay.
सो इट्स नॉट लाइक कि हम पहली बार देख रहे हैं कि एक साल में 500 नंबर हो रहे हैं. वी यूज्ड टू हैव मल्टीपल 300 करोड़ फिल्म्स इन 2015, 2016. In 2015 we had बजरंगी भाईजान doing 320 crore. उससे 6 महीने पहले पीके ने 340 किया था. एंड विद इन नेक्स्ट ऑन क्रिसमस दिलवाले प्लस बाजीराव मस्तानी did 350 प्लस इन अ क्लैश. सो इट्स नॉट लाइक के 500 करोड़ कोई पहली बार मतलब एक एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी चीज होगी. पॉइंट हुआ क्या कि एक तो 6 साल का डिफरेंस हो गया, 6-7 साल का डिफरेंस हो गया था पिछले बिगेस्ट ग्रोथ से, जो थी दंगल. दंगल ने अराउंड 495 करोड़ का ग्रॉस किया था. और 2016 के बाद आ गया जीएसटी, जिससे हमारा जो टैक्स का रेट था वो 40% से 20% पे आ गया. तो एक तो हमारा 495 करोड़ का जो ग्रॉस था वो बन गया 400 करोड़ नेट, जो पहले था 350 के आसपास. 50-60 करोड़ का वहां पे इंक्रीज हो गया. और 7 साल की इन्फ्लेशन, तो जो 500 करोड़ नंबर तो ऑब्वियसली आने थे. तो ये कोई मतलब शॉक होने वाली बात ही नहीं थी. इंडस्ट्री एक मतलब ये एक बुरे मतलब 2022 से निकली थी, तो 2023 में लग रहा था ये नंबर बहुत बड़े हैं, बहुत बड़े हैं, बहुत बड़े हैं. लेकिन दे वर व्हाट वी यूज टू डू. कोई स्पेशल चीज नहीं हुई थी. स्पेशल चीज उस समय क्या हुई थी, बाहुबली 2, जिसने जब 350 फिल्म में बिजनेस करती हुई उसने 500 दिया. सो दैट वाज द स्पेशल थिंग. एंड नाउ पुष्पा इज some not at level of Bahubali 2, still not at level of Bahubali 2, but kind of in the middle of that. तो आज का पोटेंशियल अगर अब हमारे एग्जिस्टिंग इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पे देखें तो हमारा पोटेंशियल है कि हम 1000 करोड़ नेट कर सकते हैं. पुष्पा 2 probably will be reaching 750 to 800 crore depending on how its late legs go. तो that's the current potential, but this is not what our potential should be. जैसे आप बोलते हैं कि आपके एरिया में 20-25 सिनेमाज होते थे, आज 2-3 रह गए हैं. तो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर तो हमारा रही नहीं ना. अगर दबंग का हम देखें जो पोटेंशियल है इंडिया में, नॉर्थ इंडिया में, इट शुड बी डूइंग 10 करोड़ फुटफॉल्स इन नॉर्थ इंडिया. करी उसने 2-3 करोड़। तो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर ही नहीं है। अगर दबंग का इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर गदर के टाइम वाला होता, आई थिंक गदर probably did 10 crore footfalls in India. तो दबंग should have done that 10 crore footfalls in 2010, बट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है ही नहीं, बचा ही नहीं है। सो इंफ्रा जो हमारा पोटेंशियल है वो तो बहुत ज्यादा है, हम उसे स्क्रैप भी नहीं कर रहे हैं। लेकिन जो करंट पोटेंशियल है, जो जो हमारे पास अभी बड़े शहरों में सिनेमाज बची हैं, उसके हिसाब से हम 1,000 करोड़ या 1,100 करोड़ नेट हम कर सकते हैं हिंदी में।
Okay. Navneet, now coming to you, what just Jatinder just said is that the potential is 1,000, 1,100 crores. The question that begs is that we celebrate, or we kind of we talk about 50 crore, 60 crore, or 70 crore, or 100 crore maybe celebrations, etc. So the market has expanded so much. So,
Absolutely.
I mean, what is it that, a minimum number that is there to kind of say कि भाई बॉक्स ऑफिस पे कुछ हुआ है? अगर 1,000-1,100 करोड़ का पोटेंशियल है तो 100
बिल्कुल
करोड़ का कोई मतलब ही नहीं बनता है।
बिल्कुल नहीं।
देन द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन दैट बेग्स इज कि भाई अच्छा, हमने फिल्म सस्ती बनाई है तो हमारा प्रॉफिट आ गया, तो बट are we not underselling ourselves collectively and not doing and realizing our potential and aiming so low? I heard a big director. Who said of his recent release, was a monster release, that I am very happy with the number that it did. Now, if the biggest director is happy with 20% of the market potential with the biggest film, I mean,
Sure.
it kind of is a conflict, and it doesn't kind of, make sense in the larger interest of things that where we are heading. A Pushpa comes from down south, it just kind of slaps you in the face that कि भाई देखो, तुम्हारे बैकयार्ड का पोटेंशियल 1,000 करोड़ है।
बिल्कुल
मैं एक तेलुगु डब्ड फिल्म होने के बावजूद मैं यहां से 800 करोड़ लेके जा रहा हूं तुम्हारे घर से, और तुम 100-200 करोड़ पे बोल रहे हो कि भाई आई एम वेरी हैप्पी विद द कलेक्शन ऑफ द फिल्म एंड दिस इज अ सुपर हिट एंड अ ब्लॉकबस्टर। सो Navneet, where is it that we are going wrong? Where
Okay.
have we gone
So
wrong?
I will give you two examples from 2024. 100 crore mark is is not only underwhelming, it is very disappointing for movies like Kisi Ka Bhai Kisi Ki Jaan, for movies like, I mean, in fact, forget about 100 crore mark. Even 250 crore mark is a bit underwhelming. I'm not saying that these are flop movies. No, they are not. Please don't get me wrong. But movies like Tiger 3 and movies like Singham Again, Fighter ने I think 190 crore net किया था, around 190, 195. I think that is, I mean, that is a bit underwhelming, certainly. तो ऐसी movies के लिए, मतलब, I mean, movies featuring superstars, movies which are front loaded, movies which are mass entertainers, top line by superstars. Certainly, 250 crore is at best average, or perhaps, as I said, certainly underwhelming. But for a movie like Munjia, and I'm not just talking about the budget here. Budget तो उसका कम था ही, expectations भी। तो मुंजिया के लिए जो है वो 100, वो क्या कहते हैं, 120 करोड़ को आप वो नहीं बोल सकते। I mean, for a Munjia, collections of rupees 120 crore net in India is no mean achievement. But for movies like Fighter, for movies like Singham Again, for movies like Tiger 3, 250 crore, 200 crore benchmark is certainly a bit underwhelming. तो 100 करोड़ बेंचमार्क जो है एक सुपरस्टार की पिक्चर के लिए, वो तो अंडरवेलमिंग नहीं, वो तो डिसअपॉइंटिंग होगा। इवन 250 crore benchmark is certainly underwhelming. और I know, and just to take you back a bit, in 1980s के अंदर एक पिक्चर आई थी निकाह बोल के, 1982 के अंदर बी आर चोपड़ा की पिक्चर थी, राज बब्बर की पिक्चर थी। उस पिक्चर ने 1982 के अंदर, आई थिंक यू लुक एट द आरओआई, आई मीन, मुंजिया से ऑब्वियसली अगर आप फुटफॉल्स देखो तो उसके मुंजिया से डबल थे या उससे थोड़े ज्यादा होंगे ऑलमोस्ट, आई थिंक। बट आई एम सेइंग इज, for a movie like Nikah in 1982, to do that kind of number was a big thing. 1982 में एक और पिक्चर आई थी, दो तीन पिक्चरें और आई थी धर्म जी की, जिन्होंने थोड़ा सा अंडर परफॉर्म किया था। मुझे याद है एक पिक्चर आई थी गजब बोल के, पिक्चर आई थी, एक पिक्चर आई थी गजब, एक पिक्चर आई थी तीसरी आंख। the expectations were that they will do huge humongous business, but they did only average kind of business. तो ये चीज हमेशा से होती आ रही है, हर पिक्चर बॉक्स ऑफिस के पोटेंशियल को फुलफिल नहीं करती है। तो आप जब कहते हैं कि 200 करोड़ का बेंचमार्क या 100 करोड़ का बेंचमार्क हमें सेलिब्रेट करना चाहिए, जैसे धर्म जी के लिए उस समय जो जो आई थिंक गजब ने करीब कितना 4 करोड़ का बिजनेस किया था, और निका ने आई थिंक 3.5 करोड़ का बिजनेस किया था, अराउंड अराउंड दैट नंबर। तो निका के लिए तो वो बिजनेस बहुत अच्छा है, बट धर्म जी की फिल्मों के लिए वो बिजनेस अच्छा नहीं है। 1982 में एक और पिक्चर आई थी अमिताभ बच्चन की, देश प्रेमी, एंड आई थिंक अपार्ट फ्रॉम गंगा जमुना सरस्वती विच वॉज द लास्ट डायरेक्टोरियल ऑफ मनमोहन देसाई, 82 के अंदर उसको भी बहुत डिसअपॉइंटमेंट माना गया था देश प्रेमी को। देश प्रेमी वॉज कंसिडर्ड अ बिलो एवरेज एवरेज मूवी। तो मेरा कहने का मतलब है, हर समय एक ऐसा होता है कि एक सुपरस्टार की पिक्चर से एक्सपेक्टेशंस बहुत होती है, तो उन पिक्चरों के लिए एक सर्टन बेंचमार्क जो होता है वो बहुत ही बेसिक होता है, उसको आप सेलिब्रेट नहीं कर सकते। बट हाँ, मुंजिया जैसी पिक्चर है उसको सेलिब्रेट करना चाहिए। बट माई अनदर पॉइंट, नाउ फॉर मूवीज लाइक बैड न्यूज हो गई, मिसेस एंड मिस्टर एंड मिसेस माही हो गई, उनको वो मुझे थोड़ा सा फनी लगता है। एंड आई एम टेकिंग द नेम ऑफ द मूवीज, आई विल नॉट टेक द नेम ऑफ द एक्टर्स बिकॉज इसमें एक्टर्स का आई डोंट नो कितना फॉल्ट है। बट लेट्स से मूवी लाइक श्रीकांत, नथिंग अगेंस्ट राजकुमार राव, अ मूवी लाइक मिसेस एंड मिसेस माही, अ मूवी लाइक बैड न्यूज, आप उन पिक्चरों को जब सक्सेस बताने की कोशिश करते हैं तो थोड़ा सा फनी लगता है कि यार आप किस चीज में खुश हो रहे हैं। मतलब अगर लेट से बैड न्यूज हो गई या फिर क्या कहते हैं उसे, मिसेस एंड मिसेस माही हो गई, वो 140 150 करोड़ का बिजनेस करती है, आप सक्सेस सेलिब्रेट करते तो अच्छा भी लगता। बट आप सक्सेस सेलिब्रेट ही नहीं, मतलब आप उसको 40-50 के वर्ष वो सेटिस्फाई हो रहे हैं। अनदर वन वन लास्ट पॉइंट आई वांट टू मेक, अभिषेक भाई,
You